Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this may seem like a bit of a departure from my normal content, but I've just received intel that the Spring 2024 Undertale Deltarune newsletter just dropped. And I just read through all of it, and I thought I'd present the most important parts to you and give my general thoughts along the way. So, we start up with some nice spring-themed sprites, and then we get right into Chapter 4's development. If you can recall from previous newsletters, Toby had hired a producer who's responsible for creating deadlines and streamlining the development process, and it seems like this decision is really paying off. Not only has Toby been able to hire more people and manage a larger team, but they're on track to meet their internal deadline, which I take to mean their ultimate release deadline for Chapter 4. Now, let's talk about the game's progress. So, in terms of Chapter 4's cutscenes, apparently they have a few more difficult ones to work on, but the rest of them are mostly done, only needing to add some polish to them. As for the battles, most of them are also done, with them needing to work on the flow of the fight still. Apparently, Chapter 4 will also have a gimmick similar to the teacup gimmick from Chapter 2. The team has already made nearly all of the gimmick's iterations, which I take to mean that it's also mostly done. Basically, what I get from this section of the video is that there's still some things that need to be worked on, of course, and there's still some things that need to be polished and balanced, but the game is mostly done. This impression is further supported by what Toby says next. Quote, "After all that's done, everything needs to be flattened out with the steamroller of improvement and pacing. This takes an unknown amount of time. It's my hope that the next time I update you, a first pass of the entire Chapter 4 will already be at least halfway crushed by a steamroller, and at least some of the team will be moved over to Chapter 5. So this also means that the team has been mostly focusing on Chapter 4 and not really working as much on Chapter 5. He ends off this section by saying that he can't give any concrete release dates for Chapter 3 and 4. All he can say is that it's still far off because, you know how game development is. There's always going to be wrenches thrown in your plan and setbacks that are going to push the release date back. So when he says, quote, far off, what I take that to mean is a year or a year and a half, which would put the release date for Chapters 3 and 4 in the spring of 2025 or the summer of 2025. Again, this is my ignorant, non-game developer opinion, okay? So I don't know anything about how this process is supposed to work, Next, we get another round of Q&As with Papyrus. We get a lot of wacky hijinks. Papyrus is asked about Sans inclusion in Super Smash Bros. Flowey makes an appearance. Someone even asked Papyrus to name their cat. He said to name them Papyrus. But let's be real, that's not why you're here. You just want to know if there's any juicy bits of lore. And unfortunately, there is not. But I still think it's worth a read, so I'm gonna leave it in the description. Going back to the newsletter, Toby promotes a new song he's releasing with, and sorry if I mispronounce your name, but a person named Amani Katana. Again, sorry if I mispronounce this, but you know how I am with names. If that's something you're interested in listening to or hearing the story behind the song, then the link is in the description. But I'm gonna move on. The newsletter ends off with these final words. Quote, "Like I said before, despite how much progress we are making, the release of the game is still far. I don't want anyone to get burned out waiting for this, but we haven't burned out making it yet. Actually, the opposite. We're on fire. A lot. Ouch!" And with that, the newsletter draws to a close, and so will this video. Now, if you're still watching this far, firstly, thank you. Secondly, that must mean you really like the video, so make sure to like and subscribe. And if you like Deltarune and Undertale Theory content, make sure to check out the rest of my channel, because that's all I make. Thank you to my wonderful members, Mellow Mackie, PF247, Remy, Silly Willy Billy Silly, No Username, and Grey Leno. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. Bye-bye!